What's up guys, Calisunsetgaming with you again, and even though player career mode is still riddled with bugs, I wanted to do another follow-up video for you guys that have stuck with it. In this video I'm going to be answering some of the questions that you've left on my previous video, as well as also giving you some more tips to be able to optimize your player career mode experience. And on top of that, you guys better stick around, because I've done it. I've fucking done it, boys. I found out how to get the manager to play you in the position that you want to play in. No more being a right winger getting played as a centre back. Let's get to it. First off, let's get some of the questions that you guys have had and that you've put on my social media out the way so that you don't need to keep trawling through the internet, okay? I'm here for you. But before I do, make sure that you smash a like on this video and consider subscribing. Turn on that notification bell so that you get an update every time I release a brand new video. Now, first off, a few of you have suffered the dreaded fate of actually putting your nationality in the game. I mean, why wouldn't you? Now, there is an underlying issue here that I think has actually escaped a lot of people's attention. In earlier years, obviously FIFA would cash in on international competitions by bringing out separate titles like the 2010 South Africa World Cup, for instance. It seems like they had moved away from that and decided to provide international competitions as either part of the base game or like a mid-season update. With the reduction of international teams in the game, I don't think it takes much to realise they're probably moving away again for mid-season updates and plan to have a really basic core version of the World Cup and Euros. With the information about FIFA and EA splitting off as well, I think the international competitions that you are going to be experiencing on player career modes if you're playing EA Sports FC in future installments is not going to be the authentic World Cup experience that you're expecting. Obviously FIFA are going to hold most of that. But in terms of changing your nationality once the game has started, this is not an option. Your nationality is something that you have to set before the game begins, and this is grayed out once you've created your pro. The best way for you to check what international teams are available is to go on to Play Now, select international as the section for what teams you're going to play, and just quickly have a scan through. And if you can't play for whatever country you were born in, I mean, the most realistic thing that would happen is you would either play for where your mum was born or where your dad was born. Try that. If you want to keep it realistic, try that. If you're all born in the same place and the nation isn't on FIFA, then just choose the closest country. I don't know. Next up, getting transfer offers from certain teams. Boy, this was really boring to research. Now, this is going to sound like really difficult to explain, so I'm going to try and break it down as best as I can. But obviously, if you have any questions, just leave a comment, and I'll do my best to respond to anything, like whether that's commenting on my Instagram, sending me a message, going onto my Facebook. All of those links you can find in the description below, or just leaving a comment on this video. I do try my utmost to respond to every single comment that I receive. Unless it's hate, then usually I need a couple of days to think of a clever, witty comeback. When you start a player career mode, you get the choice of having negotiations on either strict or loose. Like I said, I've done multiple tests on this, but it seems pretty irrelevant for the offers that your pro's going to get. All it does is change how many offers within a window that you are going to receive. Another thing that I will say is that if you have negotiations set on loose, every transfer window is like the fucking NBA draft. People are fucking all over the place. Barely anybody stays at one club, and it just makes, in my personal opinion, the game so much more unrealistic. Personally, I would stick with strict negotiations. You're not going to receive as many offers when you do want to leave, but if you hand in a transfer request, you will still receive offers. There is no way to get a move to a specific team. It's based on variables like depth the team has in that position. I know that because I got an offer from Tottenham literally the same day I read an article saying that Son had gone to PSG. Another thing that you need to take into account is your overall rating. Something that I discussed in my previous player career mode video, which if you haven't seen, I'll leave a link up there, I think. fucking just move the mouse and click the fucking... On my previous video, I talk about how the game bases your value on your rating and not how your player has performed. In that other video, I do discuss the fact that there are pros and cons to this approach. The fact that you could be paying through the nose if you are doing a manager career mode. You're paying through the nose for a player and they may just have had one of the shittest seasons of their lives, and you might be buying them completely out of form or back off an injury that had just lasted 7 months. You don't really know. When I was rated 90, I got offers from Real Madrid and I got offers from Man City as well. When I moved some of the stats around and I was rated 88, I was getting offers from Liverpool. That's when I got one from Tottenham as well. At 87, weirdly enough, I got an offer from PSG and also Barca. I ended up taking the offer from Barca just because of the players that they had there at the time. It was just so easy to score goals. De Jong in mid, Johnny David up top. Bang, 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 non-stop. In my personal opinion, regarding getting transfers to teams that you want to play for or having the highest rating in your squad, I would just forget about it. Personally, I would just build the player that you enjoy playing with. At 90, my player wasn't very fast and was mainly just someone that helped transitions from defence to attack. At 87, I've got some long shots and improved skill, which makes me more dangerous when going on the attack, and I just enjoy playing with my pro more. You can reset your stats at any time by pressing triangle when you are on the stats menu, and it will just deallocate everything and you can just reallocate it as you see fit without it affecting your manager rating. So personally, I would just experiment. It is a really fun way to play the player career mode, just building a player that is perfect for you rather than one that's got the highest rating.
The next thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is the perks. Now, I know a lot of you guys have been talking about which ones are the best ones to have for each position, and whilst I can't really tell you specifically which ones that you should choose, what I can do is at least give you guys the information you need to decide which ones are the best for you. Now, as I go through these, one of the things that I will say is that a lot of them are locked when you begin the game. What you'll have to do is you'll have to go through the game, slowly reaching level 25 and unlocking these perks as you go through. What I'm not going to do is go through the goalkeeping ones. I don't have enough information to be able to tell you which ones are good and which ones aren't. I don't have a keeper career mode. It's too difficult, all right? So I'm not doing it. So first off, defensive cover. This is one of the ones that you unlock straight away. So all it does is boost defensive abilities for all teammates, defensive awareness, interceptions, and tackling. Now, this is one that's going to be active at all times. You'll know it's active at all times by, whilst the game's going on, you'll see your icons in the top corner and it'll show you if it's highlighted, it means that it's active. Chance creation, boost passing abilities for all teammates. Again, that's one that will always be active. It's not something that buffs you specifically. It's something that buffs all your teammates to improve their abilities. Attacking support is boosting all abilities for all teammates in attacking positioning, finishing, long shots, and shot power. Probably one that you want to use if you're playing for like a lower league side and you're desperate to get them promoted. This will boost all their stats in the attacking section of the game. So this will only become active after scoring a goal. So when it says 15 minutes, it means 15 minutes in game. So obviously if you've got shorter halves, it's not going to be active as long. After you assist a goal, it will give you the ability to boost passing attributes, which means that you'll be in a position where you can pull off more impressive passes, more impressive than what your usual skill set will allow you to. Active first touch is all about your ball control and acceleration and sprint speed once you're on the ball. This isn't something that's constantly active. It'll only be active once you've taken your first touch of the football. Once you lose possession, active first touch will then disengage and you'll have to wait until the ball is back at your feet. This grants the flair trait, something that you're not really able to achieve in standard gameplay unless you've got 5-star skills. So if that's the sort of way that you like playing, it's probably worth having this active. Skill dribbler increases the player's dribbling and skill move abilities when dribbling with the ball, also granting them the flair trait. So similar to active touch, but this is one that constantly stays active. Obviously, it's not really something that you're going to see the benefits of until you've got the ball at your feet. But again, Something like this is worth having if you're the type of player that likes using skill to get around the opposition. Pinpoint cross is one that is not active all the time. This will only activate when you're putting a cross into the box. It'll give you the opportunity to get swerve, flare, and early crosser traits, but it's not something that will stay active all the time. Your 5-star weak foot ability is not something that is going to be active all the time either. A lot of people will select this thinking that it gives them 5-star weak foot ability when they're taking the shots. That is not the case with this. It is only active when doing the crosses. Precision pass and threaded pass are the same thing, but this is obviously just a short pass or a long pass using X, and threaded pass is for a through ball, so pressing triangle. All three of these are only going to stay active when you're pulling off that specific pass or cross. Tireless runner, granting second wind and solid player traits. I don't really know what solid player does. Like, whenever I've used solid player, it's not benefited me that much. It's not really changed the way that I play the game. In terms of second wind, it is nice to get a boost to stamina, but to me, I prefer emphasis on just knowing when to make runs. You don't need to spend a full 90 minutes of the game sprinting. So just control how you're using your stamina. You will not lose stamina whilst jogging. You'll only lose it while sprinting. So rather than sprinting for the full 90 minutes, try to learn when to make runs and when to just jog back into position. That's the most important thing, I think. Set piece specialist increases your player's ability during set pieces. This perk is only going to activate whilst a set piece is taking place, such as a throw-in, a corner, a free kick, or a penalty. Definitely something to keep in mind. It will not be active at all times. Distance shooter, to me, is the most OP/insane perk that you can get on this board that we're looking at right now. This increases your accuracy and power from long distance shots, grants you the finesse shot and outside of the foot shot traits, and 5-star weak foot ability. This will only initiate if you're taking a shot from outside the box. One-time shot is a perk that, when it's teamed up with long distance shooting perk, is so OP, but at the same time so satisfying. It increases your finishing ability during one-time shots or headers, grants the finesse shot, flare, outside of the foot shot, and power header traits, and increases your weak foot ability. If you get drilled a pass and you're outside the box and you hit it first time without taking a touch, literally just shoot as soon as it comes towards you, both of these perks will activate, the one-time shot and the long-distance shooter. And trust me, the keeper's going to be scrambling to get hold of it. Set piece beacon increases your heading attributes for set pieces, free kick, corners and throw-ins for 5 seconds after the ball is in play, and grants you the power header trait. This is perfect for if you're playing as a centre-back. Gives you the ability to just get either the ball out, or if you are up for a corner on the attack, just to rise like a gazelle, slam those headers into the back of the net. Clutch finisher increases your shooting attributes during the last 15 minutes and extra time. Grants you the finesse shot, outside of the foot shot, power header traits, and increases your weak foot ability. Obviously, this is only going to activate in the last 15 minutes of a game and extra time. It depends what division you're in and what sort of competitions you're in, whether you think that that's a useful trait. Personally, I think long distance shooting and one-time shot sort of negates the point of having something like this. Hot streak boosts your attributes for a short time after you've scored a goal. Again, it depends on how many goals that you are scoring. Like many other perks, this is only going to be active after you've initiated it by scoring a goal, and it will only be active for a short period of time. Quick reply will boost your shooting attributes after you've conceded a goal. Like some of the others that I've just mentioned, it's only going to be active for a certain amount of time. One thing I will say is that it all depends on how your stats are spread around. Personally, I don't know. I'm such a simp for long distance shooter and one-time shot. I genuinely believe that's the best combo to have. But if this is one where you're not really getting the opportunities and you want to sort of use your perks elsewhere, just say you're playing as a defender, quick reply or like a centre defensive midfielder, quick reply might be one that you want to take. Defensive closer increases the defending attributes for the final 15 minutes and extra time of a match. Again, what you need to do is sort of analyse what competitions you're in. How often are you going to be under the cosh in the last 15 minutes of a game, or how often are you going to be in extra time of a match? something that you might not get that much use out of. Last defender increases the defending attributes when you are the last player back. Can be quite common if you are a defender and you're playing against Premier League teams that you are the deepest player out of all of the AI. What you'll find on FIFA is that a lot of teams will have a relatively high back line, which obviously against the pacier teams in the league just sort of gets demolished so easily. Possibly a decent one to have if you are playing as a defender or a centre defensive midfielder. Physical strength was one that I actually used for quite a while, you know, boosting the strengths, ball control, jumping when you're jostling, shielding or heading the ball. That can come in quite useful depending on what team you're playing for. If you're in the Prem, for instance, a lot of the centre-backs are tall and powerful. Having something like this just gives you that extra edge. Ball winner will only be active when you are close to the person that is dribbling with the ball, if you're trying to snatch the ball off them. Again, this is something that you probably want to use if you're in a midfield position or you are defending. I wouldn't necessarily waste this slot on an attacking player, but it's only going to be active when you are close to the person that has control of the ball on the opposition. Defended attributes boosted for a short time after your team concedes a goal is the cool head perk. Again, this is something that you need to assess on how often you're going to be conceding goals. This is another timed perk. I'm not a big fan of them, if you haven't gathered already. I'm more of the kind of guy that wants perks active as much as possible. This only being active 15 minutes after your team concedes a goal sort of seems late. I would expect something like this to be before I concede a goal, rather than you've conceded, now you're nice and cool. No, sorry, not good enough. And last of all, lockdown, defending attributes boosted for a short time after your team scores a goal. This is the sort of perk that you want to have if you're a defender, in my personal opinion. All your defending attributes boosted, possibly the best way of defending that old FIFA scripting of conceding a goal immediately after you've scored. This will give you the best opportunity to defend against that.
Now, the big one. The one that you've all been waiting for. Getting played in the position that you actually want to be played in. Now, before I get into it, obviously, if you want to play as a central attacking midfielder and the team formation doesn't have a central attacking midfielder, you're not going to get played in the position you want to be played in. Unfortunately, the game doesn't accommodate formations based on your position, which is a bit of a shame. If you're in a position where you're a striker and you're being played as a centre midfielder, which is quite common, then this is the best way to get out of it. You're playing a series of games and obviously your aim is to keep the manager rating as high as possible. If you're in a position where you've gone from sub and you've moved into the first team and you're consistently playing but you're being played out of position every week, there is a way to fix it. What you want to do is you want to sim a couple of games of the season. What it will do is only measure your match rating. Now, after a couple of sims, what will probably happen to you is that your rating will drop, and over time, a number of poor performances will send you back to the subs bench. Now, what you need to do is you need to plan it so that you're only just a substitute, and you're in a position where when it comes to a game day, you can simulate your training to thrust you back into the starting 11. So, when you're looking at the game that you're playing, as I did here, you would open the game and then it would show you where you're coming on to play as a sub. Now, if you're coming on in the position that you actually want to play in, that's great. The first step's complete. If you're not, it's not the end of the world. All that you would need to do from here is that instead of playing the game, you would back out, you would go to training, you would complete your training, which would then thrust you back into the starting 11, and then you would go to play the game again. And voila. You are now playing in the position you're meant to be played in. It does take a little bit of back and forth, and it can be difficult to sort of measure it at times, but basically when you're just a substitute, that's the best time to do it. Just a substitute, you've got all your training spare, and then what you can do is, like I said, simulate the training, get a rank that will push you back into the starting 11, check the beginning of the game, go through to the match menu, and you'll be in the position that you need to be in. I hope this guide helped you, and originally I didn't want to do another player career mode video, but I just thought to myself, like, I've been playing it a lot recently, and I've I have enjoyed it. I know that's probably really bad of me to say because I give it a lot of shit, but I'm enjoying it a lot. Let me know if this video helped you, and also if you have any more questions, like I said, leave a comment in the comment section below. A lot more videos like this to come, so make sure that you smash a like on this video, as well as consider hitting subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you get an update every time I release a video. As always guys, I will see you next time on Calisunsetgaming.